Okay, so like I said, today we are going to look at angles of elevation and depression. So what is an angle of elevation and what is an angle of depression? Okay, so here we have a picture. We've got this little boy looking up at this owl. Now, from the boy looking up to the owl, we can draw this horizontal line. And from the boy in this line of sight, so from the boy going to the owl, we can draw another line. And between those two lines, we see that an angle forms. And that angle is called the angle of elevation. Elevation because the boy is looking up at the owl. Sorry, if you can just give me a second. My screen is doing some funny things here. Okay, that should be better. Okay, so here we go. Here's my angle of elevation. Now, the owl, in turn, is looking down at the boy. So again, we can draw this horizontal line and this line here from where the owl is looking down at the boy. And that angle is called the angle of depression. Think about depression as being low. If you're feeling a bit depressed and you feel low, so it is looking down. The owl is looking down. Now, the important fact is that this line and this line are actually parallel. And do you notice that this Z shape is forming? Which means that those two angles, the angle of elevation and the angle of depression, are actually alternate angles. So they are actually going to be the same size. Okay, so that's the first thing we need to know about angles of elevation and angles of depression, that those two angles are actually equal. So if we have a situation like this where somebody is looking up and in turn someone is looking down, because of the parallel lines, the angle of elevation, the angle of depression are actually equal. So here where it says, what do you notice? That is exactly that. And what do we call the angles that form this Z shape? That is called alternate angles. Okay, so alternate you would have learned back in grade 9 already. So yeah, so that is something that we can sort of relate to when it comes to angles of elevation, depression, something that we already know. Right, so here's a little bit more about the angle of elevation and the angle of depression. So here we have a girl standing. So she's looking up at the bird, and because she's looking up, that is called the angle of elevation. This is our horizontal, and from there, she is looking down at the seal over here. So that is called angle of depression. Okay, so there's another example. Angle formed by the line of sight and the horizontal plane for an object above the horizontal. So that's a mouthful. All you have to know is that elevation is about looking up, depression is about looking down. Okay, thanks for that, Mr. Shongwe. That's a good summary. Right, so let's see if everyone's awake and following along. Please put an emoji in the chat, a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you are good with what I've just explained about angles of elevation and depression. Thanks, Ntokozo, that's good. Come, everyone else, let's see our emojis. Right, awesome. Ntsaku, wonderful. Medine, thank you. Elito, Zara, Rafilwe, Kalita, I can't. There's another one of those, Mr. Shongwe, where we can't see the emojis. Unfortunately, in Kalita, I think it's got to do with the device you're using. Okay, right. Everyone else, I really want you to wake up and participate and do this along with us. So when I ask for you to tell me how you find something by putting an emoji in the chat, I really would like for you to respond, okay? So there's about 55 of you, and I would like to see 55 different emojis in the chat telling me how you're doing, okay? It's important for me to know how you are finding a certain explanation or a certain concept so that I know that you are understanding or not, okay? So please, everyone, let's participate. Sure, Sia, that's nice. Sia is obviously feeling very good about this.
Nice one, Sia.
Okay, now let's see where the trigonometry comes in, because we are going to use the trigonometry to now solve this problem. Okay, so Kayla is standing at the top of a cliff, and I want you to have your calculator ready, pen, pencil, paper, all of that. Okay, have that ready because we are about to start our first question, and I'm going to be calling for answers. Okay, and I want everyone to put their answers down. Okay, so Kayla is standing at the top of a cliff. She looks down and spots a seal in the water. So the angle of depression, because she's looking down, is 43 degrees, and the seal is 20 meters below her. Okay, so if we look at our picture so far, what we've got is Kayla and the seal that's 20 meters below her. So that vertical distance is 20 meters. Then we've got the angle of depression, which is 43. And that is the angle at which Kayla is looking down to Mr. Seal over here. Okay. And how far away is the seal from the base of the cliff? Give your answer correct to, we're not going to work with two significant figures, we're going to work to two decimal places. Okay, so let's see how we can work that out. So we already have the fact that the angle of depression is 43. So now remember what we said, that the angle of the seal looking up, so the angle of elevation over here, angle of elevation is also going to be 43 because of that Z shape, which is the alternate angles. Okay. What we've got here is a right angle triangle. And because we've got a right angle triangle, we can use trigonometry to actually find this distance of the seal to the cliff. It's from the seal to the base of the cliff. The sides have been labeled for us already. So from the 43, we get the 43 over here because of the angle of elevation. Opposite from it is the 20. This is my hypotenuse, and this is my adjacent. Okay, so I want you to pay careful attention to the diagram and how it's drawn, because later on you're going to have to draw your own diagram. So now we have the diagram and that's given to us, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you have to draw your own diagram. So I want you to pay close attention to how this one is drawn. Right, so if you remember from Tuesday's lesson, we want to solve for this side, the adjacent side. So we are going to use the adjacent side, and the side that we have, the one that's given, that's 20. So that's opposite and adjacent, and that trig ratio is tan. So tan of 43. Okay, so that is going to be 20 over A, which is the distance of the seal from the base of the cliff. And now we're going to solve for A. And we also did this on Tuesday, where we, what you guys told me was that you had to swap the A and the tan 43 around, so that's fine. Or in other words, you just cross multiply, you can do that as well. So we get a tan 43 degrees is equal to 20, and then we divide both sides by tan 43. Okay, now I want to see if everyone's awake and working with me. Post your answer in the chat as soon as you have it. Please use your calculator. Well, there's no other way to do this. Use your calculator and let's see if everyone can get our answer. Yeah, I don't think that's the correct answer, Alyssa and Andre Souls. Let's try again. Obviously, if you're just copying someone else's answer, you are really not benefiting. Try it yourself, guys. It's really not going to help if you if you just copy someone else's answer. Just a reminder to please stay on mute. Okay, guys, so we're literally going to go on the calculator and go 20 divided by tan 43. 20 divided by tan 43. Okay, I see some answers coming in. I'm just checking what everyone's getting. Okay, if you are not getting 21,45, check what you are doing. You just have to go on your calculator, 20 divided by tan 43. Okay, what I think is happening to some of you as well, especially if you're getting these small answers, that your calculator is not in degrees mode. Okay, so you have to always check that your calculator is in degrees mode. There must be a capital letter D showing in the top of your screen for it to be in degrees mode. Okay, so maybe just check if you are working it out and you are not getting the right answer, no matter what you're doing, make sure that it is in the right mode. Okay, so our answer should be 21,45. Wonderful. Well done, everyone. Okay, let's do this next one. Okay. So Shafa is standing on the ground at the air show looking up at a red stunt pilot. So there's our diagram. The horizontal distance between Shafa and the plane is 23 kilometers. So the angle of elevation of the plane is 39 degrees. Calculate the distance between the plane and Shafa, giving your answer correct to one decimal place. Please remain on mute, everyone. It is a bit of a disturbance if there's background noise. Anyway, let's go. We are working out the distance between the plane and Shafa. Giving your answer correct to one decimal place. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this one. Let's just make sure. So which side are we working out? If we are working out the distance between Shafa and the plane, is it going to be the hypotenuse side or the opposite side? Put it in the chat. Tell me which one you think it's going to be. Opposite or hypotenuse? Which one are we going to work out? Okay, so think about what the distance, the opposite side is. And again, I encourage you to think of your own answers and not to just copy from everyone else. Yes, the hypotenuse is indeed the right answer because the opposite side, if you think about it, that is how high the plane is off the ground. But how far the girl is from the plane, that is the hypotenuse side. Okay, so do that quickly. 2 minutes, we'll check back in at 17:24. Post your answer. Let's hold answers actually. Let's not post answers just yet. Just hold your answer this time and we'll check answers at 17:24. Off you go. Okay, so it is 17:24. Let's see how you did. Okay, remember I asked to hold answers, everyone. Just hold your answers. We're going to check if you can check yourself now if you are ready. So calculate the distance between the plane and chauffeur, giving your answer correct to 1 decimal place. Yes, indeed, 1 decimal place, Unati. Okay, so let's work in orange. The side that we have, the side that we want. So the adjacent and the hypotenuse side, and Mr. Shongwe also posted some notes there for you about how to choose your correct trig ratio. So that's quite useful. So the side that we have and the side that we want is adjacent and hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse, that's cos. Our angle is 39, so we're going to do cos of 39. The adjacent side is 2,3 divided by the hypotenuse side, which is the one we are solving for. We're going to times by h on both sides, just like we did on Tuesday. So h cos 39 degrees is 2,3. And then we divide 2,3 by cos 39. Okay. By the way, if you are new and you've missed our previous lessons, the recordings are available on our website, so you can access them quite easily. The lessons as well as the quizzes, because the quizzes stay up. So even if you've missed lessons, you can still go back and do the quiz and get your results straight away, because the quiz is set up that way to give you your results straight away. Okay, so we are rounding to 1 decimal place. So my answer that I get is 2,959,547, lots of decimal places. So this is a 5. That means it's going to push the 9 up. which in turn is going to push the 2 up to a 3. There we go. Okay. Please put a thumbs up in the chat if that's what you got, if you got it right. Thumbs up in the chat if you got it right. Okay, wonderful, everyone. That's really great. Good. Party face. Oh, yeah. Every time we get something right, so we get a party face. Okay. Imangi, I'm not sure if you mean on your calculator, but you type it in exactly as it is there, 2.3 divided by cos 39. Okay. Thanks, Kinsane. Good to know. Excellent. Okay, so let's see what else we've got this evening. We've got lots of sums here. And here, like I said, we are going to start doing ones now where you have to draw your own diagram. Okay, so let's have a look at this first question. Okay, I'm going to read it, and then I want you to read it on your own quietly and make an attempt to draw your diagram. Okay, so Sammy stands on level ground 75 meters away from a castle that has a flag flying from the top of it. Sammy looks at the top of the flag at an angle of elevation of 18 degrees. How high above Sammy's eye level is the top of the flag? Okay, so I'm going to keep quiet for a little while and give you a chance to read the question. Just reading, okay? Just read question 1. When you are done reading, give me this emoji, the one that I've put in the chat now. No problem. We are happy that you made it. Okay. Looks like most people are done. Welcome, Mr. Are the glasses off? And some just want to have cool glasses on, sunglasses. Some are reading with sunglasses, some are reading without glasses, some are reading with glasses. Okay, wonderful, everyone. Okay, so let's now the artist in you is going to come out. Okay, now you are going to draw this diagram, because we can't solve the problem without a diagram. Okay, so again, I'm going to keep quiet, and I want to see your artist come out and draw your diagram. Okay, representing the situation. Okay, so now just to make it clear, I don't want a 5-story high castle with multiple levels and detailed flags and something that belongs in a game. Okay, I just want a very simple representation of the situation. So stick figures and just simple outlines are fine. No, Nati, it doesn't. You can have your castle on this side or on that side. Doesn't matter. Imangi, I want you to try, okay? Oh, sorry, Moko Kobale. Oh, that's so irritating. It must be terrible to have the electricity just come and go like that. Imangi, I want you to try, okay? Look back on our previous questions. Think of how those diagrams looked, and I want you to just try and draw the diagram. Yeah, for now, just draw. I'm going to just give everyone 30 more seconds, and then we'll get down to actually. Malik, unfortunately, you won't be able to show it to me, but you can compare your one to my one to see if it's right. Okay, so let's see. So I got something like this. Here's Sammy. Here's the castle. And here's the flag. Okay, so the distance between Sammy and the castle, it says there, and that's meant to be straight, but it says she's standing on solid ground, and that is 75 meters. That's the distance between her and the castle. And then it says that the angle of elevation that she's looking at the castle, that is 18 degrees. Okay. And then the question asks, we need to know how high above Sammy's eye level is the top of the flag. So we basically want this distance here. So now I'm gonna, this is sort of my rough sketch, and you can make a rough sketch like that as well. And now I'm gonna transfer it to just make a right angle triangle with that information. So there's my 90 degrees. Here's my 75. Here's my 18. And this is my hypotenuse. This is my adjacent. This is my opposite. I want to solve for my opposite. So that's going to be our next step, to solve for the opposite side. So check that your sketch is right, and now you can continue to solve for the opposite side, because that is how high the flag, how high above Sammy's eye level is the top of the flag. So it's that distance that we are looking for. Okay. Once you are done, post your answer in the chat. You can do 2 decimal places, Sunati. Okay, so we are doing opposite and adjacent. Those are the sides we're using. So that is tan of 18 degrees is opposite over 75. Okay, we just need to be careful. I see some of you are getting quite a different answer, and I'm wondering where it is going wrong. So let's just see. So we're going to times by 75 on both sides. So this is going to be 75 tan 18 is equal to the opposite side. And that gives us 24. So the opposite side, I'm going to call it, I'm going to write out in full what it is. The height of the flag. Height of flag is 24,37. Okay, we're rounding to 2 decimal places. If you didn't get that, maybe just check where you went wrong. Make sure you understand where you're going wrong so that you can fix it and not make the same mistake again. Okay, if we know where we're going wrong, if we understand our mistake, then we can avoid doing it again. Okay. Right, well done, everyone. I think we have time for one more. I'm going to put it up. Yeah, that's why I wrote height of flag, Eric, not to confuse anyone. Right, so let's go to the next question. While everyone's reading, let me... yes, I am about to ask for Sipo. Go for it.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi there.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask about the same question that we just did. So,
sorry, just say again.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I wanted to ask about the same question that we just did.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So I wasn't supposed to write it as 10, 80 or 75 divided by 10, 18.
No, so in this case, we've got the opposite over the 75. So we times by 75 to get the opposite side, which is the side we're solving for on its own.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just going to scroll back up. Leah, you can quickly take a screenshot. And I can also come back to it at the end of the lesson. Let's have a look at question 2. So long, let's have a read through. And then we'll do our quiz fairly soon. Mr. Shongwei, could you maybe just assist Buchle? She is asking how we got the answer. So if you can just let her know.
Yeah, I already sent a private message.
Yes.
Yeah, I already did it.
I don't, oh, okay, because I'm not sure if she heard when I just explained again to Sisipo.
Okay.
Good. Right, so let's see. An eagle flies from the summit of a 900-meter tall mountain at an angle of depression of 25 degrees to catch a mouse at the foot of the mountain. Okay, so how far does the eagle fly and what let's just do question 2A. Because we are just a little bit pressed for time. So let's just do question 2A. How far does the eagle fly? So again, I would like for you to draw your diagram first. Take a minute or two to do that. Rough diagram, then your right angle triangle with its information, and then answer the question. Do we all know what the summit is? So the summit is the top of the mountain. Okay, so summit is just a big word for top of the mountain. Imange, what is it that you are wondering about? Because I said about the summit, and I just explained that the summit is the top of the mountain. Let me know if that is what you're wondering about. Just give me a thumbs up if that's what it is. Great. Okay, let's see. So before we run out of time, so what we've got is the eagle, and the eagle is at the top of the mountain. So I'm just going to draw the mountain as a straight up line. So, and that's 900 meters tall, and the eagle is over here, and the angle of depression, they tell us, is 25 degrees. Okay, so the mouse is over here, and they want to know how far does the eagle have to fly to get to the mouse. So, oh, some of you have already done answers. Well done. Excellent. So check that your sketch is correct, and then we can do everything in one go, because it seems like you guys are ready. So this is opposite and this is adjacent. Okay, so because we have the adjacent side, that's given, that's 900. We are solving for the hypotenuse side, so we are going to do cos. Cos of 25 degrees is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so we need to solve for h. So we're going to times by h on both sides, or like you guys have told me before, you can just swap the h and the cos 25. I do like to do it completely so that we all know why we are doing it, and not just swapping things out and not really understanding why that happens. Okay, and then 900 divided by cos 25 is equal to 993,04.